Hey guys, how's it going? If you're actually, I probably already know the answer to that. If you are the kind of person that buys and sells stocks, it's probably going terrible for you today, and it's going terrible for me too. But let's not worry about that too much, guys, because in this video, we're just going to run through another update of my Canadian dividend investing portfolio series. It should be no news to anyone that moderately follows the stock market that everything is crashing and burning. But that's okay. That's just how life is. We're going to go through my portfolio value here. My stock value is sitting around $73,359. I had about $215 in cash today that I wanted to spend, and I'm going to kind of show you what I did with that. But basically, overall, we are up 0.86%. Amazing. Just a few months ago, I was up like 10% and up over $10,000. That was like amazing, just magic money raining down out of nowhere. But I've kind of been brought back to reality here, just to be reminded that the stock market doesn't always just go up and up and up. And I'm one of those people that started investing primarily after COVID started, when stocks were all smashed to bits. So I wasn't holding stocks before that. So this is kind of, aside from my little bit of crypto that I have, this is kind of the first really big drop that I've seen in my own portfolio, and that's just how it goes sometimes. But I'm not too worried about it because all of the stocks that I have, or almost all of them, do pay a dividend. And I'm looking at about $3,000 per year, $3,200 per year in annual dividend income, so long as these companies survive and keep paying. And because I mostly hold blue chip companies, which I'll show you in a second, I'm not too worried about it. Do I think the stock price will eventually go back up for some of these companies? Yeah, probably. Do I think I will continue getting paid dividends from these companies? Yeah, probably. So it's kind of scary to see, when like $10,000 that you never really had vanishes from you, but it was also never really there in some ways because I wasn't planning to withdraw it anytime soon. So, yeah. With all that said, let's just jump straight into my portfolio here and kind of take a look at what's going on. At the moment, I have it sorted for the biggest positions at the top. And then we go down in descending order and we get the nice smallest positions down here. So there's a lot of red in the portfolio. You can see this in various degrees now, like some are double digits, like minus 21% on one of my biggest positions. I'm down over $1,000 on that individual position. That's not great, but will it hopefully bounce up again in the future? I hope so. Some other double-digit losses down here, like Savaria, that's pretty ridiculous. Power Corp, but it's not all bad. If we actually sort this, put Z to A, or put the biggest winners at the top and the biggest losers at the bottom, we see that it's mostly red. But some companies are still crushing it. TD Bank, ATD, Exchange Income Corporation, all these guys doing pretty well. And some of these too have pretty high yields anyways. Or strong yields, like they're paying out the dividends, they're trucking along, and you kind of wish, like, oh man, I wish I put all my money in TD a year ago. But yeah, who knows, right? You can never tell these things. So anyways, I was in here kind of cruising around thinking, what am I supposed to do right now? Actually, before we even get into that, I think what I'll do is I'm going to show you the extra sparklines tab. I really like this tab in the sheet, which, by the way, the sheet is available in a link in the description below. If you would like to try it out and track your own stocks, you can definitely just click that link and go get your own copy. Here I have actually all of the positions in my portfolio sorted in the same order that they are in the portfolio tab. So right now I had the portfolio tab sorted for the biggest winners at the top, so that's what we see here. And when we just look here at the end, everything is just tanking, falling off the deep end. Even the winners, like these ones are doing pretty well, but as we go down we see this exact same pattern with basically every position in my portfolio. And when I did sign into Wealthsimple today, I saw every position was down. That's just how it is. These guys were not doing too bad. But anyways, I was kind of looking around thinking, like, what do you do, what do you buy when everything is down? Because kind of everything might look like a good opportunity all at the same time. And so what I was looking in here in my portfolio was just kind of like, what am I already in the red in? What is kind of lower than, quite a bit lower than usual? And also what has a decent dividend right now? Because I'm not trusting stock prices at all at the moment. So I would like to get something with a pretty good dividend as well. So what I'm also doing here is I sort by dividend yield, put the biggest dividends at the top. And I wanted to kind of just get an idea here on what are some of my biggest yielding companies. And there's actually a few in here that are over 6% at the current prices. And in my opinion, that's very high because the average yield of my entire portfolio is about 4.38%, When the stock prices are not totally trashed to bits, it's more like 3.9 or something like that. And as the stock price goes down, the yield goes up as long as the dividend doesn't change, the dividend payment. So anyways, I was looking in here and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to go for a couple shares. I had $200 to spend and I just wanted to get some that are yielding over 6% because it's pretty good in my books. So I was looking here at Great-West Life. They're over 6%. They're under 2%. They're over 6% yield. They're under 2% of my portfolio, and I'm down like almost 12% on my average price. And I thought, yeah, sure, that's not too bad. It's a small position of mine, and it's something that I want to grow. I want to kind of even out my holdings eventually and get my small positions to be bigger. So when one goes down, like for example, where was that? Allied Properties. When one of my big positions goes down, it takes the whole account with it, and you don't really want that kind of situation. So Great-West Life was a pretty clear choice for me today. Any of these really would be pretty much fine for me at the moment, but I went with that. And then I had a little bit left over, and I just dropped a couple shares into Primaris Real Estate, PMZ, also yielding over 6.2%. This is a pretty new REIT, but usually their price has been above a value that would make it so their dividend yield is below 6%. So anytime they're kind of above 6%, I try to buy a couple. So let's actually just go log the transactions that I did. So I'm going to come in here. This is a master list of all of the transactions I've ever done in the account. And so we're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom, wherever that is. Here we go. And I'm just going to drop these in. So we had TSE GWO and TSE PMZ.UN. A lot of those REITs have that .UN at the end. Today was June 13, 2022. And I actually bought 6 shares of Great-West Life at a unit price of $31.63, and I bought 2 shares of PMZ at a unit price of $12.93. And I didn't pay any trading fees, and I paid in Canadian dollars, so I can just copy all that stuff down. Now, I just like to check these because this is automatically generated, and I would compare this to what I see in my app in Wealthsimple Trade, and if these are all totaling up to what I expect, then we're good to go. And that is what I was expecting. So when I just come back into the summary tab here, we can see that my cash, I actually got, I used to limit buy to buy those last 2 PMZ shares, and I got my cash down to exactly $0, which I think has never happened before. But basically here, the stock price went up a little, the stock value went up a little bit because I bought more stocks, but what I'm looking at here is this value. So at the beginning of the video, this value was sitting at $3,212, and now we're sitting at $3,225. So that's an increase of about $13 per year, I think. And totally passive, tax-free income, because this is my tax-free savings account, and this passive income coming from the dividends, or in this case, some also distributions from REITs, but they're basically the same thing. It's a monthly payment that you get just for holding it, and as long as it's in a tax-free savings account, then you don't get taxed on it anyways, and you don't have to worry about any special tax considerations. So anyways, the idea is that my passive income went up, and hopefully if the stock markets recover, my principal will go up as well one day, in the next month or 6 months or year or whatever. Hopefully it'll be higher. Nobody knows, but that's a hope. And then here, this is pretty definitive that my passive income went up because now I hold more shares that pay dividends. So guys, if you watched the whole thing, thank you very much. Make sure you dropped a comment down below. I'd love to hear how your portfolios are doing. Yeah, I'm just curious to know because we're all in this together, and I'm hanging on, and I'm going to enjoy the ride, and I hope you guys do too. So I'll see you in the comments and in the next video.